If you stab a cereal box, are you a serial killer? If you kill yourself, are you the murderer of yourself because you killed someone and the someone is you? When we cookies and bacon are totally different. But why do we then say when you bake cookies and you cook bacon? And most of the time, when we sleep, we don't remember the dreams. We don't remember dreams. Well, while most of the people who never know you, but they actually do know you because most of us have friends, and everyone here has friends, but most of us have friends, but those friends know other people, and other people know the other, and other, and then so goes it. People like things, and you also like things, but most of the time when people don't like some of your things, they most of the time get angry because you don't like the same thing that they like. So most of the people like when you like some of their stuff, and when you like some of their stuff, or you like their stuff. That because people fight most of the time because how they find other things funny or not, or just really annoying. In that, when people buy a car, they all say the higher the car cost, the better the car is. But actually, a car has always the same thing to do. A car is only made to bring you to the place. When people talk and you also talk, does it mean that you make an argument? If you're two friends, but you're the only two friends, are you then taken as two best friends? And the older you get, the more you forgot. But the people say the older you get, the wiser you get. But the older you get, the more you forget. Does it mean that that's a lie? When we are young, we always pray to become older because we really want to have something. But when you become older, we always pray to become younger because we really don't want to happen what because we really don't want to die, to be closer to death and having really annoying people. Most of the time, people find jobs, but those jobs that they never love. Why don't they then get the job that they love? Since it's still an opportunity. And they just can get the job that they love, but they never had the job that they loved. So why don't they have the job that they loved? Are they just bad, or they just know, really confused what they want. People, most of the time, like each other, don't like each other, but the people that don't like each other, they put as really enemies. People that work together, they people that hate each other, they don't they 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 are angry at each other when they do something that really doesn't make sense, who get angry. People that have the same interest but they never know each other, they never even they are always they never talk to each other because they never know each other. People who have the same interest and talk together but never were faced to be friends are not are just people that like each other but never find it to be actually good to have a friendship. Well, people that always work together, they always become friends and make the work faster when they work together. Does it mean that people that like that have the same interest and who know each other just never even need to know each other because they already have the same interest? When you cut down a tree, does it mean that you're officially a harmer of the environment because you harmed a piece of the environment by cutting a tree? You need to always, if you want to be taken as a chauffeur driver, then you have to bring most of the time people for there. But if you have lots of friends, or maybe friends that need to get to pick, that don't have a car, then you're technically a chauffeur driver for your friends because you drive them most of the time around the place that they need. If you need to be, if you have or a game and you make one game, are you still a game maker because you make a game and you can make more? When you build something, you're technically already a builder because you already have the knowledge of how to build something. You just have to know how to build it. People that like fire are most of the time people who like to see the world burn. People who like snow are people that like being people who like cold like being like winter. People that like going in the plane like being up in the air really high. But people that like everything are people that like everything. Everything meaning that they don't hate nothing because they like every season and everything. So it means they can't hate you. And if they hate you, meaning that you did something really bad to them, and they really cannot forget that you did that to them. So now they are angry at you. Why is that? People most of the time are angry to others, but when they have the same, but when they because they like the same thing, but there is no way to share, they always go to fight. But when there is a ginormous problem, they then start to become they then become friends for only that time, but then not anymore. If you, if you do something that is really bad, are you then taken as a criminal or a lawbreaker because you broke one law? if you if you if you make a potion just like those ginormous potions, since that just like chemicals, are you then taken as a scientist? If you can handle, if you can handle the electricity, making it into wires, are you then and making contact wires for only one time, are you then still taken as an electrician? Because you have the knowledge of of how to do that. The older you get, the more you wish to 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 never have done some things. And if people who go back in, people think that when you go back in time, you change something, you change the timeline. But actually, you can't. But you actually cannot. Actually, that because if you can change time and time never even been take another path, then it means that time and itself would dissolve because it never because if then millions of people go back in time and change history, then everything will just then crumble apart. Because if I change just like something, then something will happen. The thing that will happen, because the thing that would happen would then when we change, but time already knew everything. So when you go back in time, it will change the right that second that you change time, it will change the whole history. So, because if you're born in 1940 and I change maybe Abraham Lincoln's death, and you then go and then go there, my brain already knew that Abraham Lincoln never even died because I wasn't born in the time when he died. So then the history changed in that time, and you never even know when if it was real or not, because your mind would be changed. But if you change something also in time, then you also need to be dissolved from here, because if you change time, then you should never have existed, because then you already changed time of getting in there. The older you get, the more pain you have. But the more younger you are, you still have more pain. But when you are an adult, in the right time, you never even felt pain. Because because you are because you are really because you already know about what you do. If a cannon is, when we say bombs, when we say actual bombs, we already we maybe think we may think sometimes just cannonballs, but also maybe it's hard to explain also what we mean for just like bombs, just like cannon bombs or bombs, those from now. Because if we say nuclear bombs, then most of us think actual nuclear bombs, but not at something else. Because we don't think about the nuclear bombs, about actually the nuclear bomb, just like is a nuclear bomb. I think a whole bomb of nuclear and made out of nuclear. But what else is actually good? When a firestorm comes, it's most of the time wind, which brings some fire. But a fire tornado, it's still wind that brings fire. When we cook one dish, we are not taken as a chef, but we are all times. But when you are an adult, you are a chef because you always cook something for yourself. When a heat storm is hit, it's just the sun becoming really hot for a second, but then the heat takes more time, and then it's more longer on the earth. A tornado is just hard wind going in circles. A windstorm is just wind going really fast. Why does a computer need two fans, a cooling fan and also another fan to do for ice is just water, while snow is just snow is just ice, but only really much made into small pieces. This is really micro pieces. Just there. When a city is flooded, is it then taken as a city that is now Atlantis because it's underwater, the city? People always said Atlantis was a real technology place, but it doesn't make sense because in those times, or at least the 19th century, or even less, and it should have been something else. When a city is full of snow, is it then taken as snow city because it's full of snow? Wind turbines are just really big windmills only transformed for doing electricity. But clouds are just really high water, water that are just all these things that are all transformed into smoke, into better smoke. Bridges that are demolished, are they taken as broken down bridges? When a computer breaks, it can also be say my computer glitches because the computer when it breaks, it's most of the time wires. Why do films most of the time show us grenades? Grenades, or you can use the grenades there for the grenade you can pull it with your teeth, but in reality you never even can, and there are never even fires. When there is a big storm coming, we most of the time think about hard wind and other stuff that are really dangerous, but they never even thought about water starting to go up in the seas. When a volcano erupts, it can also create more than an earthquake, but also a tsunami, because the earthquake makes tsunami. Most of the people say that smart. Most of the people bully nerds, but the people that bully the nerds, that bully the nerds are most of the time people that really just wanted that to become smart, but they actually never even can become smart, because bullying someone that is actually smarter than you, it shows that you're actually a dumb man. Because if you bully someone that is smart, you actually would never succeed in 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 your life, because because he is smarter than you and can do more, can do more that than actually something. Think just learning. Smart people are most of the time guaranteed of having a better life, because they already know the basic principles of how to become rich, how to start a small business and then become really smart. While dumb people, they are really dumb and really cannot figure out the things that really you need. Most of the time, when we think about bullies, we always think that they are doing it just because of the fun, but they actually only do it because they want because they are actually jealous about how someone is gonna succeed, because they already know I'm gonna fail, so I want to stop him of succeeding and making him fail, fail because I really don't want him to become someone actually smarter than me. So that's why I'm gonna stop him, of becoming someone that can become better than me. I just want him to become someone who is never gonna even reach my level. But that's I'm gonna make him become really. I'm gonna blocking of becoming someone actually smart. Most of the time, smart people go most of the time with smart people, because they can understand the other ones, and because they can be understood by the smart people. Well, an average intelligence one most of the time doesn't know what he's talking about, because he is talking with really complex words, making him not understand what he is actually saying. When you talk to a dumb person, you get smarter because you need to figure out a way of making that person understand what you're saying. A car from 150 years ago looked really different from this time's cars, but this time cars had no other use to doing the old doing the old thing, because they all serve the same purpose. Also, if it is really old, it serves still the same thing, using to bring a person from point A to point B, and nothing else. When we most of the time think about 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 your phone, you most of the time think phones are smarter because they have artificial intelligence. That's not true. Artificial intelligence was actually just most of the time think that it was smart, but it's actually dumber, because if you took away all of Google information, and if you bring AI, and because imagine this, the whole world knows something and they never even needed to put it on schools, never needed to put it on internet, so it's never on the website, never on the dark web, never on nothing. You never see it here. But actually, it's never even. Actually, when we take, but then when you ask that to the artificial intelligence, it doesn't know what you're talking about, and just says, "I don't know what you're talking about," because it's never even stand on the internet. So it's just using the information that it can have and cannot have on internet. But most of the time, people get addicted to smoking. But what doesn't make sense, why do you get addicted to smoking if it if you never even if that doesn't even be does something? You just get addicted on it and nothing else. Because if you get addicted by eating candy, it does make sense because you actually feel something that most of the people like. But you never but no one likes it because someone did it and then everyone wanted to be who was him, and so they do it. Most of But most of the time, a really expensive computer is still as a small is still as a computer. It has still the same thing to do. Most most of the people just wear something that they never even like because someone did it, and you want to be good as him. People, most of the time, people like have Bugattis, those rich ones have Bugattis or something else. But what they don't have is what they actually want, because they never even wanted to have a Bugatti, because why should they want just like a real expensive Ferrari? Why are this? But well, I never even wanted to the Ferrari. I never even wanted that. I just wanted to drive maybe in my small Toyota or small Fiat that I love. Maybe that person loves. So it means every time it's always a race for everything. Everything that you ever heard, it was a race, because most of the time car factories have always a secret race, saying, "My race, I want to have a race. You're having a race to see who actually can be better than this, can be better at making that." So they always make races, because they always make races on ice cream. So a company always makes a race for something. So it's really hard to know what why they always do races, do race for something. Because balloon companies race to make the best balloon. Well, eco companies make races, make a race for who makes the best, the best, the best eco project. Glass factories always real, always make a race of see who makes the best glass. Well, while electricity companies always race make make a race for something. While cooling companies make a race for something else, then So most of the time we do we do some race. We race for something. When you go to the barber and and you want to have your hair cut, but you can't, then why do you then need to have a haircut by the barber? But you can always cut it yourself. When we do some stupid stuff, we most say how you're stupid, but we never even then they can question what you did when you were maybe younger. Take that in question. A train has the same thing as a steam train, to bring something around, to bring something. A helicopter is the same, but only usefuler for something. Everything has a use, but most of the time things that cost really much and we never even needed them, because most of the rich like using things that they actually never even needed. When you think about rich, you most of the time think about things that cost millions of bucks, because they are so rich that they can do it. But actually, the rich most of the time never wanted that, but they wanted to seem. They always wanted to have something. Most of the people don't like don't like to pay taxes when they are richer, but the rich people don't like paying high taxes. But what they never even know is how to feel as a poor one. They never even felt it. They only felt the richness, and they never even know how it felt being poor. They never felt how you needed to struggle, and so they just make fun about you being poor, but they never even know how hard it is of being with someone poor. When you actually build, you can actually always build something that you want. Meaning, because who is gonna stop you actually? Who is gonna stop you do something? No one can stop you doing something. Alright, and I hope that you liked this video of shower thoughts of Wobbly Life, and I hope that you like this video, and it was my first ever shower thought video, so I hope that you enjoy it, and bye.